Okay, here's a long overdue update. Haven't been buying a lot lately, but this last month I finally had some cash to pick up some things, some replacements of items I'd sold for better editions, some all new stuff to the collection, and right here on the screen is So I Married an Axe Murderer in 4K. So let's talk about that one first. Here we go with the cardboard slip. It is really nice edition, actually. The film, I used to have this on Blu-ray, and it was one of my ugliest, thinnest looking, waxy Blu-rays I had. Very, very poor quality. And this is very filmic. It's a beautiful scan, and it actually makes the film look like a real movie rather than just some cheap garbage. Hello, Tui. Okay, let's adjust here. And it actually comes with some special features, which are on the back, over 30 minutes of never before seen deleted scenes and the theatrical trailer, which is two things more than my old Blu-ray edition had. You know, the real plus is the amazing new transfer, and how great that looks. I haven't watched the 30 minutes of never before seen deleted scenes yet, but I will get to it. Great set. Very happy with that. Next, we'll go on to The Woman in Red, a Gene Wilder comedy that he wrote and directed based on a French film from years earlier. And I'd always wanted to grab this one, but the Region A locked version of the American version, even though I have a multi-zone player, always kind of put me off. This one is probably pretty much the same transfer, which doesn't have the best reputation, but it's not all that bad, and I'll talk about that in a minute. This is bare bones, has nothing. The American one had a audio commentary. This has nothing, but this was very cheap release, and the transfer, from what I'd read about it, this looks far better than what I'd read in the reviews. It actually looks pretty filmic and pretty good a lot of the time, but it is riddled with a lot of speckles, more speckles than you're probably used to seeing on a Blu-ray. But you know, they come and they go, but they're pretty consistent, especially at the beginning of quite a few speckles on the film print. But it doesn't distract. I still didn't distract me when I was watching the film at all. Really love this film. Great soundtrack from Stevie Wonder. Kelly LeBrock is the titled Woman in Red. Charles Grodin's great, as always. Charles Grodin also in Sorry I Married an Ex-Murderer in a little scene. And Gilda Radner, which is Gene Wilder's then partner, since passed away. But a real good film. You know, a better transfer could come in the future, but who knows? I just took this chance to get the Region B release, as it was reasonably priced. And it's a really good, fun film. So there's a couple of comedies. Next, we'll move on to True Lies. This is the 4K edition, although I have sold the 4K and just kept the Blu-ray. They both had the same special features on each disc, or maybe the special features were just on the Blu-ray. But regardless, I kept the Blu-ray because it looks better than the 4K. Because James Cameron is kind of a crazy dickhead, he thinks that all of his old films shot on film should be scrubbed to look like digital. And which is horrible. It's what he did to the Terminator 2 release, which is why I have the Blu-ray of that and not the 4K, because the 4K releases really show up the waxiness and the unnatural look more than the Blu-ray. So the Blu-ray is passable enough, but the 4K, no thanks. So I've sold on the 4K edition and kept the Blu-ray. As you can see, I've got a Blu-ray case in there rather than a 4K case. Has some special features there, which I can let you read rather than letting me read them all out. But, you know, great film, fun film, great action film, very funny. Tom Arnold's great. Yeah, worth picking up for the Blu-ray. I can't really recommend the 4K It just is scrubbed to fuck. Okay, next up is The Firm on Blu-ray. I've always loved this film, this John Grisham adaptation, directed by Sidney Pollack, starring Tom Cruise and Gene Hackman, Gene Triplehorn, and Holly Hunter. Just a real great thriller. They don't really make them like this anymore. This one, I waited to get it cheap. Waited for it to be on special because it doesn't have any special features. It's just a bare bones disc. The transfer is not what I'd call reference 4K quality. It has its moments, and then other moments it doesn't look that great. But it's by far better than the Blu-ray was years ago. So it's the best edition out there, and if you can pick it up cheap, I'd say it is worth it. Next, we'll go one from the heart. I picked up the British edition, which is the best edition to get, as it has both versions of the film, the original theatrical cut and the new reprise cut, on 4K discs and also Blu-ray. So it's a 4-disc collection, has the two films on 2 4K discs, and then again repeated on the Blu-rays. I've sold the Blu-rays on and just kept the 4K disc because they have all the same extras. There's no reason to keep the Blu-rays. Looks fabulous. It's a wonderful sort of musical. I've heard that it has inspired the look and feel of the new Joker film coming out later this year, which doesn't surprise me, because that's what that director does. He takes other people's work and is not too subtle about it. But really fun one from Francis Ford Coppola, and starring Frederick Forrest and Terry Garr, and has a plethora of special features, which I'm not going to go through all of, but some really great stuff. This is the edition to get that has both versions in 4K. I believe the American edition or some of the other editions have the reprise in 4K and then the theatrical cut in Blu-ray. Not this one. Great stuff. Okay, Almost Famous. This is the opposite. This is the American edition, which is the edition to get, as it has both versions of the film in 4K rather than other editions like the British one, which has the longer cut in 4K and the original theatrical cut on Blu-ray. So this is a 2 4K disc experience. Has all the special features there, a lot more than some of the other sets. The local set has just the Australasian set has just the 4K disc with the audio commentary and the longer version of the film. This one has all the special features that go with the theatrical cut also. So great film. Cameron Crowe's one of his best films. Real fun one to watch. Great cast, and it looks fabulous in 4K. It looks. I used to have this on Blu-ray. Sold it many years ago. I had the bootleg cut, which only had the long version. I thought I sold it wanting to get a version that has both versions of the film, and here I have it, and both in 4K. So it's a good release. Primal Fear. This one I had on Blu-ray, and I still have it on Blu-ray. And the 4K disc was a bit disappointing. When I compared to them one after another, there's really not much difference other than the 4K feeling darker. It doesn't feel like it has improved depth or clarity. Very disappointing. The 4K disc that was on sale locally here has no special features. Kept my Blu-ray as it has a lot of special features. I would not recommend picking up the 4K disc, especially if you already have the Blu-ray. Great film, but 4K disc it's not going to knock your socks off. A Bronx Tale, just picked this one up. I sold the Blu-ray sometime last year when I heard this was coming out. The Blu-ray was always a bit of an average-looking film, and this one is much better. Still room for improvement, but it's far better than the Blu-ray. Has some good special features. This was a great film in that sort of Goodfellas sort of style, starring Robert De Niro and Chaz Palminteri, and it's directed by Robert De Niro and written by Chaz Palminteri. Really great film, and got those special features there. And it's the best it's looked thus far. So good stuff. 2 to go. Picked up Memento. I used to have the Region A Blu-ray. I got rid of a lot of my Region A stuff because I needed money, and I figured in the future, if I don't have any Region A stuff, I don't have to buy a more expensive multi-zone player to replace my player when it gives up. So I've gotten rid of most of my Region A stuff and have been getting it in Region B or Region Free. With 4K being Region Free, it wasn't a big encouragement to really not get too fussed about having Region A Blu-rays. This one looks like pretty much the same transfer. A lot of people have criticized it because the gamma rays are pushed up a little bit in it, and you can see that similar to Transformers the movie, you can see it in the black bars where they go a little bit gray because the gamma rays have been pushed up. But the film always had a real blown out look, and when I was watching the film, it didn't bother me at all. It didn't affect my viewing experience. This one has one disc with the theatrical cut and another disc with the chronological cut. Has special features on both discs. Good Blu-ray set. People have blown the gamma ray thing out of proportion, I think. But it is what it is. People like to complain. It is a legit complaint, but I don't think it's quite as egregious as some people make it out to be. Last of all is another one which I sold my Region A of and got this beautiful Region B box. Look at that big, thick, sturdy box. Valley Girl from the early 80s, starring Nicolas Cage. And it is a real fun sort of punk rock romantic comedy. Comes with a book and the disc. Let me get that stuff out. So you got the disc there with the more original sort of artwork. Loads of special features. A lot of the same special features they had on the American set, which was a very good set. And I think this one has it has a new audio commentary added in and maybe one new interview. Yeah, a couple of new interviews. So it actually is the best set out there. Looks great. More special features. Same great transfer that they had on the American set. And also comes with this great booklet. Now, I managed to pick this up cheap, which I was quite happy about it because it was quite expensive when it first came out. But yeah, love Valley Girl, love this edition. I'm sure there's going to be a cheaper standard edition coming out, but I managed to pick this up on special, so I'm happy with that. Okay, that's it for my 10 movie review update. Get myself back up to date, and hopefully we'll get some more releases. Say goodbye, Tui. Okay, thank you.